My name is Fiona Myers. I am 34 years old and 11 days ago, I sold my architecture firm for $14 million. My husband looked at me across the kitchen table that night and said the thing that changed everything. Tell them the deal fell through. I did. Within 4 days, my mother listed my childhood bedroom on Airbnb, $89 a night. The room still has the window seat I built when I was 16. By day 7, my sister texted me uninviting me from her wedding. My mother had called her and said if I showed up empty-handed, it would be awkward for the whole family. My father just stopped calling. What happened on day 12 when my husband wired $50,000 to each of them is the reason I am telling you this story. But what they did with that money is the part that still keeps me up at night. Welcome back to Calm Drama Stories. This is the channel where family moments unfold, the ones nobody warns you about, and the ones that change everything. If these stories move you, drop a comment below and be sure to subscribe so you never miss a new story. I have filed my parents' property taxes for 6 years. My mother does not know the county assessor's address. She does not know the filing deadline. She knows my phone number and she knows how to text, "Fee, can you handle this?" I covered my father's golf club membership 3 years in a row when he forgot to renew. $4,200 a year, $12,600 total. He thanked me once. He thanked the club manager twice. When my sister Kelsey's wedding venue had a zoning issue, the outdoor tent exceeded the lot's conditional use permit, I called in a favor from a contractor I have worked with for 6 years. Permit approved in 9 days. Kelsey told our mother the venue worked it out. My name never came up. My mother texts me when she needs something fixed. She calls Kelsey when she needs something posted, organized, or displayed. Kelsey manages my mother's social calendar, her community event RSVPs, her holiday card list. We are both on call, just different extensions. This is the thing people miss when they look at my family. My mother does not have a favorite daughter. She has 2 departments. I am operations, the one who solves problems, files paperwork, manages vendors. Kelsey is public relations, the one who shows up, smiles, photographs well, and posts on time. My phone buzzes. A text from Kelsey. Can you handle the florist? I am swamped with bridesmaids. I have been managing my sister's wedding vendors for 4 months. The florist. The caterer. A permit issue I solved by calling in a favor. 4 months of project management, donated free of charge. Kelsey has not once asked about the acquisition, but she needs the florist handled. And in this family, that is the same thing as calling to check in. My husband Garrett said something one evening that I have not been able to stop hearing. We were sitting on the porch after the kids went to bed. He set his water glass down and looked at me like he was reading a balance sheet that did not add up. When is the last time anyone in this family called you without needing something? I opened my mouth, closed it. I checked my call log later that night. 8 months of calls from my mother. 43 calls. Every single one was a request or a logistics update. Can you look at Dad's insurance claim? Can you call the roofer? Kelsey's caterer needs a deposit. Did you file the property tax extension? Not one. How are you? Not one, I was thinking about you. Not one call that existed without a task attached. But here is the part that stopped me cold. I checked Kelsey's pattern too, asked her casually one day how often Mom calls her just to talk. Kelsey laughed. Mom does not call to talk. She calls to delegate. Last week it was the Henderson's anniversary card. Week before that, the church potluck RSVP. My mother does not play favorite. She runs a dispatch center. And both of us are on the route. The difference is that Kelsey has never noticed. Kelsey thinks managing Mom's social calendar is being close. She thinks the phone calls are connection. I used to think that too. I used to think handling the property taxes was being needed, and being needed was being loved. Garrett did not tell me any of this. He just asked one question. And the question did all the work. When is the last time anyone in this family called you without needing something? I still do not have an answer. My firm is called Myers Design Group. Sustainable commercial architecture. Converted warehouses. county libraries, LEED-certified office complexes. I started it in a one-room studio above a dry cleaner 8 years ago, with $11,000 in savings and a second-hand drafting table. Harman Kale, a national architecture and engineering conglomerate, approached us 14 months ago. They wanted our sustainable design methodology, our client list, our people. 8 months of due diligence, valuation negotiations that made my teeth ache, staff retention packages for all 47 employees. Every one of them would keep their jobs. That mattered to me more than the number. The number was $14 million. All cash. The deal closed on a Tuesday afternoon. I signed the final document in my attorney Claudia's office with a pen that cost $4. Garrett brought champagne that cost $32. My senior architect Nora cried in the doorway. I built this company while filing my parents' property taxes, while covering golf memberships and managing florists and solving permit issues for people who never asked how I was doing. I built it in the margins of a family that only noticed me when something was broken. $14 million. I reached for my phone to call my mother. I wanted her to say she was proud. Then I set the phone down. Not because she would not care, but because I already knew what she would say. She would say congratulations, and in the same breath she would say, "Now can you look at the insurance claim? I have been waiting." She would fold my biggest achievement into her task queue, and I would let her. Because that is how this family works. $14 million. And the first thing I feel is tired. Kitchen table. 9:30 at night. Champagne going flat. Kids asleep. Mabel is 5. Theo is 3. They do not know their mother is now a millionaire. They know she makes buildings. That is enough for them. Garrett sits across from me. He is a financial analyst. Quiet. Observant. He has watched my family run on transactions for 9 years. He does not say, "Let us test them." What he says is, "Before you tell them the good news, just do not, for 1 week. See who asks." They are my family. I am not saying they do not love you. I am saying, find out if they notice you when you are not providing something. When is the last time anyone in this family called you without needing something? The question again. Pressing against every conversation like a load calculation, I keep failing. I tell him I am not going to lie. He says I do not have to. Just do not volunteer. But I cannot do silence, so I compromise. I text my mother. "Hey Mom, the acquisition fell through. It has been a rough week." I am giving her an opening, a chance to call me back and say, "Tell me everything. Tell me how you are feeling. Tell me what comes next." Her reply comes 14 minutes later. "Oh no, can you still handle Kelsey's caterer? She is stressed." My career just collapsed as far as she knows, and her first response is checking whether I can still deliver on an open task. Not, "Are you okay?" Not, "Do you need anything?" She is running triage on her service queue, and I just flagged myself as potentially offline. The system does not pause for pain. It reroutes around it. Day 1. My mother does not call back. I check her Instagram 3 stories about Kelsey's dress fit, a mirror selfie in the bridal salon, a boomerang of champagne glasses. Caption, "Mother of the bride energy." Meanwhile, her other daughter's life just collapsed, as far as she knows. But I am not a scheduled event. I am not on the content calendar. I am back office, and back office does not get Instagram stories. Day 1 evening, Dad calls, brief, distracted. "You okay, kiddo?" Before I can answer, I hear my mother calling him to dinner. "Listen, I have got to go. We will catch up." Click. He does not call back. Day 2. Kelsey texts. Long message, 47 words about the florist needing a final decision by Thursday. A photo of 2 centerpiece options. A question about peonies. At the bottom, almost a footnote. "Also, Mom told me about your work thing. That sucks. Anyway, the florist needs a final by Thursday." I open the text thread with my mother. I scroll back 8 months. Every single message is a request. File the extension, call the roofer, handle the caterer, confirm the appointment. Not one, thinking of you. The thread reads like a service ticket log: timestamps, task descriptions, expected delivery dates. I am not a daughter in this thread. I am a vendor with unlimited availability and no invoice. Garrett watches from the doorway, arms crossed. He does not say anything. The text thread is saying everything. I handle the florist. I pick the peonies. I confirm the round vase because the venue ceiling is low and tall arrangements block sightlines. I know this because I am an architect. I solve structural problems even when I am choosing flowers for a sister who just called my collapsing career. That sucks. I handle it perfectly. And for the first time, I hate myself for it. Day 3. Nothing from my mother. Nothing from my father. Kelsey sends a group photo from a bridesmaid dinner, 7 women, champagne, matching gift bags. I am not in the photo. I am not in the group chat it was shared in. Day 4. My college friend Jess sends a screenshot. Wait, is this your parents' house? I open it. Airbnb listing. My childhood bedroom, $89 a night. 3 photos, clean white bedding, a vase of dried lavender on the nightstand I painted when I was 12. And the window seat, the one I built when I was 16 with my father's tools. He taught me to measure twice, cut once. I sanded every joint by hand. My mother's listing description. Charming daughter's old room, recently refreshed. Quiet neighborhood, garden view. Recently refreshed. She has already redecorated. In 4 days. I zoom in on the photos. My name plaque is gone from the door. The window seat has a decorative pillow that says guest. The listing was created on day 2. She started within 48 hours. Garrett looks at it over my shoulder. His jaw tightens. But he does not say she is being cruel. He says something worse. She is not punishing you. She is reallocating the space. Your room was assigned to you. You just got unassigned. Reallocating. Like a conference room that is no longer booked. Like an office that just got vacated by an employee who left the company. My mother did not list my room out of spite. She listed it because, in her system, I am no longer contributing and idle capacity gets redeployed. It is cold, efficient, and completely consistent with how she runs everything. Day 5. I call my father. Voicemail. I text, just checking in, Dad. The read receipt appears at 2:14 in the afternoon. No reply. That evening, his Facebook post. He is at Kelsey's wedding venue doing a walkthrough, standing in front of a white gazebo, smiling. Caption, proud dad moment, 6 weeks and counting. He is present for the active project. The wedding is in production. I have been shelved. Day 6. He answers the phone this time. His voice is the voice of a man reading from a queue. Listen, kiddo. Your mother and I we are busy with Kelsey's wedding. You understand? You understand. As if understanding is my contribution. As if processing their absence is one more service I provide. Sure, Dad, I understand. Click. Garrett is in the kitchen. Your father does not make decisions. He routes them. Your mother stopped sending him your file. He is my father. He is your mother's forwarding service. She stopped routing you to him. So he does not know you are in his queue. He is not choosing to ignore you. He just does not have the ticket. I want to argue. I want to defend the man who taught me to measure twice and cut once. But I cannot defend a man who routes all of his love through his wife's dispatch system. The window seat I built when I was 16, I built it with his tools. He handed me the chisel. He showed me where to place the clamp. He said, "You have good hands, Fee." That was 18 years ago. He has not said anything like it since. Not because he stopped believing it, because nobody assigned him to say it. Day 7, 9:47 in the morning. Kelsey's text arrives. Fee, Mom called me this morning. She said if you come to the wedding without a proper gift, it is going to be awkward for everyone. With everything going on with your firm, I think it might be better if you sat this one out. I am sorry. I read it 4 times. Each time the architecture becomes clearer. This is not Kelsey being cruel. This is Kelsey complying. My mother ran the calculation. Bankrupt Fiona equals no gift of appropriate value. No gift equals a social deficit at the wedding table. A social deficit reflects on the family brand. Solution: remove the liability. Kelsey did not originate this decision. She was given an instruction. And in this family, instructions from my mother do not come with a decline button. I managed Kelsey's florist for 4 months, confirmed her caterer, solved her venue permit, picked her centerpieces 2 days ago. 4 months of free project management worth thousands in billable hours if I had invoiced it. But my mother's ledger does not count labor. It counts cash and appearances. And right now, I am a line item that reads 0. Garrett finds me on the bathroom floor. I am not crying. I am sitting with my phone in my lap, doing the math. I handled her florist. I handled her caterer. I fixed her venue permit. I picked her centerpieces. And Mom told her to uninvite me because I cannot bring a gift. On our refrigerator there is a wedding invitation. Cream envelope, gold lettering, my name in calligraphy. It has been there for 5 months. I do not take it down. Not yet. That evening, Garrett sits across from me at the kitchen table with a sheet of printer paper. He does not make a list this time. He draws a chart. At the top, Diane Myers, CEO. Below, 2 branches. Left branch, Operations Fiona, tax filing, vendor management, permits, insurance claims, maintenance coordination. Right branch, Public Relations Kelsey, social calendar, RSVPs, event appearances, Instagram, community relations. Below both, admin routing Roger, forwards requests, confirms decisions, provides emotional padding. I stare at it. It is an org chart. My family is an org chart. Your family is not a family, Garrett says. It is a company. And you just got laid off. I want to argue, but the chart is clean. The reporting lines are clear. Every relationship I have with my mother fits inside that structure. Every phone call, every text, every Thanksgiving, every birthday. When is the last time anyone in this family called you without needing something? The question again. And now I see it fully not as a complaint about favoritism, but as a structural observation. My mother does not love Kelsey more than me. My mother allocates bandwidth to whichever asset is currently appreciating. Kelsey is the asset in season. Wedding. Social capital at its peak. If Kelsey's wedding was over and Kelsey needed something fixed, a permit, a tax issue, a contractor, my mother would route that request to me in a heartbeat. And if I was no longer available, she would find someone else. We are all replaceable in this system. The only difference is that I just realized it. So what do? I ask. We stop being an asset. We become a person. And we see if they recognize the difference. Day 8. Nora sends me a screenshot at 1:15 in the afternoon. Her husband Greg is a distant cousin of the Myers family. He is in a group chat I have never seen. The chat is called Myers Family Updates. I am not in it. The chat has existed for 2 years. Nora's screenshot shows the last 3 days of messages. My mother. Fiona's company went under. She probably cannot contribute to the wedding fund anymore. Cannot contribute. Her first concern is my output capacity. Kelsey. So, do I need to find another florist coordinator? She was handling mine. Kelsey's first concern is losing her free vendor manager, not her sister's well-being, her service provider. My father. Let us just give her some space. She will figure it out. Translation. Close the ticket. Archive the request. Route nothing further. And then my mother. The message that stops me. I am listing the spare room. No point keeping it empty if she is not contributing anymore. Not contributing anymore. I stare at those 3 words on Nora's phone. My mother did not list my room because she hates me. She listed it because I went offline. I am an idle resource. The room is an idle asset. In her system, both get reallocated. And Kelsey texting me about the florist while this group chat discussed replacing me. Running both tracks simultaneously. Aimlessly, using my labor in one thread while writing me off in another. That is not cruelty. That is resource management. You do not cancel the vendor until the deliverable is in hand. My value in this family was always a line item, and the moment that line went to zero, the system corrected itself in 11 days. Not out of malice, out of efficiency. That evening, I show Garrett the screenshots. He reads them twice. Contributing, I say. Flat, clinical. The way I read a structural report. That is what I am. A contribution. And Kelsey is not worried about me. She is worried about losing her free florist coordinator. The whole family runs on deliverables, Garrett says. You just saw the production schedule. I pick up my phone. I call Claudia, the attorney who handled the acquisition. I need you to set up a children's trust, and I need you to draft 3 wire transfers. $50,000 each. To whom? My mother, my sister, my father. Claudia pauses. She attended the signing celebration. She watched my mother check her phone during the toast. Are you sure? It is not a gift. It is a closing payment. For 9 years of uncompensated services. And it comes with a receipt. She tells me she will have the paperwork ready in 3 days. I say make it 4. Day 12. After I hang up, I walk to the refrigerator. The wedding invitation is still there. Cream envelope, gold lettering, my name in calligraphy under a sunflower magnet. I do not take it down. Not yet. I am not ready to cancel the last subscription this family issued in my name. The wire goes out on day 12. I have 4 days. 4 days to feel everything I need to feel before I close this account for good. 4 days. Then the ledger balances. Day 9. Jess texts me another screenshot. My mother's Airbnb listing has its first review. 5 stars. Lovely room, charming window seat. Diane was a wonderful host. A stranger slept in my childhood room. On the window seat I built at 16, sanded every joint by hand, and left a 5-star review praising my mother's hospitality. My mother has renamed the listing. It is no longer charming daughter's old room. It is the Garden View Suite. My room never had a name when I lived in it. Now that I am gone, it has a brand. I screenshot the review with steady hands. I save it in a folder on my phone labeled Architecture. I file things that matter under things I understand. Garrett reads the review. She is not mourning you. She is monetizing the vacancy. Monetizing the vacancy. Converting me into square footage. Calculating yield per night on a room that used to contain a daughter. That evening, I sit at my drafting desk for the first time since the acquisition closed. I sketch the window seat from memory. Every mortise joint, every tenon, the back support 12 degrees off vertical, because I wanted it to feel like leaning against a tree. I built it with my father's tools. He handed me the chisel. He showed me where to place the clamp. He said, "You have good hands, Fee." 18 years ago. His tools are still in the garage. My window seat now has a pillow that says guest and a 5-star rating from a woman named Karen from Stamford. The listing has been viewed 340 times. My mother shared it in the family group chat I am not in. Idle asset. Redeployed. 5 stars. Mabel asks at bedtime, "Mommy, are we going to Auntie Kelsey's wedding?" I smooth her hair. "I do not think so, sweetheart." "Good," she says. Her house smells like carpet cleaner. Garrett laughs from the hallway. The first genuine sound in 9 days. I smile small, careful, like setting a foundation stone on uncertain soil. After the kids are asleep, we sit on the back porch. Crickets, cut grass. The south-facing glass wall I designed the year Theo was born. Every beam and sightline calculated. "Your mom once told me you were the practical one," Garrett says. He holds water, not wine. He wants to be clear. I remember. She said it like it was your job title, not your personality. In her system, practical is a job title. I am the one who fixes things. Kelsey is the one who appears at things. Both of us are on the clock. We just do not get paid. He takes my hand. Financial analyst, hands steady from years of holding nerve through market volatility. In my system, practical means you built a company from nothing and sold it for $14 million. I lean against him. The night is warm. I am not doing this for revenge, I say. I know. I am doing it for Mabel and Theo. So they never learn that love has terms and conditions. He squeezes my hand once. That is enough. My phone buzzes on the porch railing. A calendar reminder from 6 months ago. Kelsey's rehearsal dinner confirm head count. I pick up the phone, delete the reminder, set it face down, listen to the crickets close out their shift. Day 10. I drive to my parents' house to pick up a box of Mabel's baby clothes that my mother has been storing. Nobody is home. They are at the wedding venue for another walk through Kelsey's third. The house smells the same. Cinnamon and floor polish. I grew up in this smell. I associated it with safety for 26 years before I understood it was just a fragrance. I find the box in the attic and carry it down. On my way through the hallway, I notice my mother's desk drawer is open. The desk she calls my office, a repurposed antique secretary, where she manages bills and invitations, and the social calendar she treats like a second career. I do not plan to look. But the drawer is open and there is a folder tab visible. It reads, Family Management. I pull it out. Inside is a spreadsheet, printed on white printer paper. My mother's handwriting in the margins check marks, asterisks, dates. 4 columns. Name. What they gave. What they received. Balance. My row. Gave tax filing, golf club, venue permit, florist coordination, insurance claim, kitchen renovation PM. Received Thanksgiving dinners, Christmas gifts, average $85, birthday calls. Balance a handwritten notation in my mother's tight cursive, over-delivering. Kelsey's row. Gave RSVPs, social calendar, community event coordination, Instagram posts, holiday card management. Received wedding fund contribution, $8,000, bridal shower hosting. Balance on track. My father's row. Gave house maintenance, yard work. Received golf club membership via Fiona. Balance positive. My mother has a balance column for her own children. I am a line item with a performance rating. Kelsey is a line item meeting her KPIs. We are both entries in a ledger that should never have been written. I photograph the spreadsheet, every column, every margin note. I put it back exactly where I found it. I take the box of baby clothes and drive home under the speed limit because my hands are shaking. I show Garrett the photos when he gets home. He looks at them for a long time. The house is quiet. Mabel is at a play date. Theo is napping. She has a balance column, he says, for her own children. I am a line item, Garrett. I have a positive balance because I over-delivered. And Kelsey? On track. Kelsey is meeting her KPIs. He sets the phone down on the counter. Your mother does not have favorites. She has a spreadsheet, and both of you are on it. I call Claudia. I adjust the children's trust. $500,000 each for Mabel and Theo. Education, first home, healthcare. Irrevocable. Funded from the acquisition proceeds. My mother tracked my contributions on a spreadsheet. I tell Claudia. My children will never be a line item. There is one more thing. I asked Claudia to set up a $25,000 annual scholarship at my alma mater for architecture students from families that treated them as resources instead of people. I want it called the Balance Fund. My mother's spreadsheet had a balance column, so I am building one that tips in the right direction toward the students who were over-delivering for families that only measured what they could extract. Garrett is standing by the kitchen island when I hang up. She wrote over-delivering next to my name, I say, like it was a performance review. Like being a good daughter was exceeding quarterly targets. He pulls me close. We stand there in the afternoon light, the light that comes through the south-facing glass I designed, so the sun would hit the kitchen island at exactly this angle at exactly this time of year. I build things that last. My mother builds spreadsheets that keep score. We are not in the same business. If you are sitting here thinking about your own family's ledger, the one nobody printed but everyone feels I see you, keep watching, because what happens in the next 4 days is the part I could not have predicted. Drop a comment if this hits close to home. Make sure you are subscribed. Day 11. Kelsey's rehearsal dinner weekend. The photos start on Instagram at 4 in the afternoon. The Davenport estate. White string lights. 68 guests. Kelsey in a champagne-colored dress. Trent beside her, looking exactly the way a junior partner at a regional insurance firm looks when his parents are paying for the event. People text me. Nora, Jess, 2 cousins. Wait, you are not at Kelsey's rehearsal? I reply to none of them. Kelsey's caption. Surrounded by the people who matter most. 68 people. I managed the florist, the caterer, and the venue permit that made this dinner possible. My labor is in every centerpiece on that table. My name is not in the room. Nora calls. She tagged everyone, Fiona. Your aunt, your cousins, your parents. Not you. It is like you have been archived. I was never in the directory, Nora. I was in the vendor list. That evening, I sit at my laptop and draft the boundary letter. Write it. Delete. Rewrite. Delete. I am an architect. I do not build from emotion. I build from measurements, load calculations, stress testing. Right now, my measurements are still changing. The data is still coming in. Tomorrow is day 12. The wire transfers are scheduled. 3 payments, $50,000 each. Memo. From the woman you wrote off. I close the laptop. Go upstairs. Check on Mabel sleeping with one arm off the bed. Tuck it back under the blanket. Mabel does not know what a balance column is. She does not know what KPIs are. She knows that her mother builds things and that her father makes pancakes on Saturday. And that is everything. Tomorrow the ledger closes. I cannot sleep. 2 in the morning. Drafting desk. The light above it is the same one that lit my first commercial design, a 22,000 square foot office conversion in Stamford that still stands. I open the folder on my phone. Architecture. Screenshot 1. Airbnb listing. $89. Window seat. Pillow that says guest. Screenshot 2. Kelsey's text. Mom called. Empty-handed. Awkward for everyone. Screenshot 3. Family group chat. No point keeping it empty if she is not contributing anymore. Screenshot 4. The spreadsheet. Name. What they gave. What they received. Balance. 11 days of evidence. 9 years of pattern. 34 years of being an operational asset. Garrett comes downstairs. Faded college shirt and gym shorts. He sits on the arm of the drafting chair. You do not have to do this. I know. That is why I am doing it. Because for the first time in 9 years, I am making a decision about this family that is not an assignment from my mother's queue. I open the wire transfer app. 3 transfers, $50,000 each. Memo. From the woman you wrote off. I do not hit send. Not at 2 in the morning. I am an architect. I do not sign off on demolitions in the dark. The wedding invitation is still on the refrigerator. Cream envelope. Gold lettering. One last night of hanging there under the sunflower magnet. In the morning, I will take it down. In the morning, I will send the wire. In the morning, the system that ran this family for 34 years will receive its final invoice. But tonight, I let the invitation stay. One last night of pretending that this family kept me on the books because they wanted me, and not because I was useful. 6 in the morning. Alarm. I shower. I dress in my gray blazer, the one I wore when I signed the acquisition papers. It still smells like Claudia's office. Leather chairs and fresh paper. 6:15, kitchen table, phone, 3 transfers, 3 taps, $50,000 each. Memo. From the woman you wrote off. Send, send, send. I make coffee. Sit. Wait. 7:22. Dad texts. Fiona, what is this? No punctuation, no context. The confused response of a man who has received a notification outside his normal routing. 7:41. Kelsey. Why did you send me $50,000? What is going on? 8:03. Mom calls. I let it ring. Voicemail. Fiona Ann Myers, you call me back right now. What is this about? Her voice is sharp, not worried, offended. as if receiving $50,000 from her daughter is an unscheduled transaction that disrupts the ledger. 8:15. Garrett comes downstairs, Mabel on his hip, Theo trailing behind, clutching a stuffed elephant by one ear. How do you feel? Like filing a demolition permit. Clean, necessary, and irreversible. He nods. He makes pancakes. Life continues. I walk to the refrigerator, pull down the wedding invitation, cream envelope, gold lettering, 5 months of hanging under a sunflower magnet. I drop it in the recycling bin. Not the trash. The recycling. Because somewhere in the process the paper might get turned into something that actually holds weight. Or it might not. Either way, it is no longer on my refrigerator. Not the trash. The recycling. Because I am an architect, and I believe in repurposing materials whenever possible. My mother calls 6 more times between 9 and noon. Each voicemail is a different stage. Voicemail 1. Confusion. Fiona, I do not understand. Call me. Voicemail 2. Demanding. You need to explain yourself. Voicemail 3. Crying. What did we do to deserve this? Voicemail 4. Threatening. If you do not explain this, I am coming to your house. Voicemail 5. Bargaining. Can we just talk? Like adults? Voicemail 6. Back to demanding. This is absurd, Fiona. Kelsey sends a wall of texts. Are you trying to humiliate me before my wedding? And Trent says this is really weird. Dad sends one more text. Kiddo, please just tell us what is happening. Then nothing. Nora calls at noon. Your mother called Greg's wife asking if you are having some kind of breakdown. Her words. The family group chat. Greg forwards another screenshot. My mother. She sent us each 50,000. I think she has lost it. Kelsey. Maybe she got a settlement. My father. Just leave it alone, Diane. My mother. Leave it alone? She is clearly trying to make a point. 3 people received $150,000 total from their daughter and sister. Not one of them considers the possibility that I am successful. Their system does not have a code for that. In my mother's ledger, I am operations, the department that fixes things. Operations does not generate revenue. Operations does not close $14 million deals. That is not my function. Nobody asks, did the acquisition actually go through? Because in this family's org chart, I do not have that authority. 2 in the afternoon. I compose a group text to my mother, my father, and Kelsey. I write it like a project closeout memo. The acquisition of Myers Design Group closed 12 days ago for $14 million. The deal did not fall through. I told you it did to see what you would do. In 11 days, Mom listed my childhood room on Airbnb. Kelsey uninvited me from her wedding on Mom's instruction because I could not bring a gift of appropriate value. Dad stopped returning my calls. The $50,000 each is real. Consider it severance. I am establishing permanent boundaries with this family. My attorney will be in touch regarding the children's trust and contact terms. Do not contact Garrett. Do not come to our home. I read it once. Send it. Put my phone in the kitchen drawer and close it. Garrett reads the copy in our shared notes. That is the most architect text I have ever seen. It is a project closeout. Final deliverable submitted. Account closed. The family group chat. Greg sends the update 4 minutes later. My mother. She set us up. Kelsey. I cannot believe this. My father says nothing for 22 minutes. Then, we need to talk about this as a family. But the family no longer includes me. And the irony of my father wanting to root a conversation now after 6 days of silence, after forwarding nothing, after posting proud dad while his other daughter sat on a bathroom floor is structural. Consider it severance, because that is what it was. 9 years of uncompensated services. The closing payment has been issued. The vendor relationship is terminated. And the vendor is the one who ended it. My mother calls from a different number at 7 that evening. I pick up once. She is crying. How could you do this to us? To your father? To Kelsey? Right before her wedding? Every sentence is about impact on them, Not one word about what they did to me. You listed my room in 4 days, I say. That was just practical. You called it recently refreshed. You replaced my name plaque with a pillow that says guest. Silence. Then, you are making everything about you. You always do this. This is about me, Mom. For the first time, this is about me. I hang up. Set the phone down. My hands are steady. Architect's hands. Good for measuring. Good for building. Good for knowing when a structure cannot be repaired. Kelsey does not call. She texts. You ruined my wedding week. I hope you are happy. I do not reply. Kelsey is not angry at me. She is angry that her service provider filed a complaint with management. In her framework, I am supposed to deliver and be quiet. Filing and florist and caterer and permit then exit gracefully so the event can proceed. My job was never to attend the wedding. My job was to build it. My father leaves a voicemail. His voice cracks. Genuine. Raw. I do not understand what happened, Fiona. I love you. But he does not say, I am sorry. He does not say, your mother was wrong. He says, can we just go back to normal? Normal. The word I have been operating under for 9 years. Normal means I deliver. Nobody invoices me. Nobody asks how I am. And the system hums along on my labor until the next request comes in. I am done with normal. Day 13. My phone notifies me of 3 bank transactions. My mother deposited her $50,000 at 9:12 in the morning. Kelsey deposited hers at 11:47. My father deposited his at 1:08 in the afternoon. All 3, within 18 hours, while simultaneously calling me manipulative, unstable, and cruel. They cashed the checks, every dollar. And then they continued telling the story that I am the one who wronged them. I show Garrett the deposit confirmations. He nods slowly. They measured your worth in dollars, and then they proved it. Day 14. Kelsey's wedding. I do not attend. I do not watch. But the photos come anyway. Nora, Jess, cousins posting stories. My mother in a lavender dress. My father giving a toast. 68 guests. The roses climbing. The string lights glowing. The centerpieces I chose round vases. Peonies. Low profile for the ceiling height. My architectural judgment in every floral arrangement. My name nowhere in the room. Kelsey's hashtag, love wins. I close Instagram. The spreadsheet comes back to me, my mother's balance column. I gave each of them 10 times what my mother budgeted for Kelsey's wedding fund, and they cashed it. In my mother's ledger, I just made one final deposit. Even my goodbye was transactional. Even walking away became a line item. They took the money. Every dollar. And they went to the wedding without me. That was the last entry I needed to see. I want you to sit with that. They cashed the checks. Every one. And then they celebrated without her. If you have ever given everything to people who only counted what you brought, this next part is for you. Stay with me. We are almost at the end. The second week. Claudia's office. Same leather chairs. Same fresh paper smell. Different documents. Claudia drafts the boundary framework. Not a restraining order. A formally drafted boundary notification, sent by certified mail to each family member. I am requesting no contact. Any future communication should be directed through my attorney. Claudia looks at me. This is not about punishment, Fiona. It is about structure. I know. You are an architect. Every building needs walls. We review the children's trust. $500,000 each for Mabel and Theo. Education, first home, healthcare. Irrevocable. Managed by an independent trustee. I finalize the scholarship. $25,000 a year. Architecture students from families that ran on ledgers. The balance fund. My mother had a balance column, I tell Claudia. I am building something that does not require one. My mother's spreadsheet tracked what people gave and what they received. Checked off deliverables. Assigned ratings. I am creating a scholarship that gives without a debit entry. No what they received column. No KP. Just, Here is money for someone who was over-delivering in a system that was never going to promote them. I drive home. The highway passes my old office, the one-room studio above the dry cleaner where Myers Design Group started. The dry cleaner is still there. The studio is a yoga space now. Something started in that room. Something real. And the people who were supposed to care about it tracked my output on a spreadsheet while it was happening. I built something there. It mattered. Even if my family could only see it as a line on a ledger. Week 3. I write the letter myself. Claudia reviews it. 3 copies. Certified mail. The letter does not accuse. It does not moralize. It states facts. Dates. Screenshots referenced. Spreadsheet photographed. Paragraph 1. The Airbnb listing. Dates. Pricing. Listing description quoted. Paragraph 2. Kelsey's uninvitation. Mom's instruction. Gift threshold as the stated reason. 4 months of vendor management provided free of charge. Paragraph 3. The family group chat. 2 years of existence. My exclusion. The specific messages about contributing and florist coordinator. Paragraph 4. The spreadsheet. 4 columns. Balance ratings. Over-delivering, written in my mother's handwriting next to my name. Final paragraph. I spent 9 years as a line item in this family's ledger. I built a company worth $14 million. When I told you it was gone, you closed my account in 11 days. The door is not closed forever. But it is closed until you learn the difference between a daughter and a vendor. When is the last time anyone in this family called you without needing something? I finally have my answer. The answer was always never. For either of us. The only difference is that I stopped accepting it. I mail the letters on a Tuesday. Same day the acquisition closed. Same day I signed $14 million into existence with a $4 pen. Garrett drives me to the post office. We do not talk. Some structures speak for themselves. The load calculations are done. The stress tests have been run. The foundation is set. I drop 3 envelopes into the mail slot. Each one weighs less than an ounce. Each one carries 9 years of measurements. Month 2. My mother responds. Not to Claudia. Not to me. To Facebook. When you give your children everything and they still choose to walk away. A mother's heart never stops breaking. 47 sympathy comments. You are such a good mother, Diane. Some children do not appreciate what they have. None of these people have seen the spreadsheet. None know about the balance column. None know that Diane tracked her children's contributions in a folder labeled Family Management and wrote over-delivering next to her younger daughter's name like a quarterly performance note. Then something shifts. Nora gets a call at work, from my mother. Tell my daughter she cannot just erase her family. Nora does not soften it. Diane, Fiona sold the company. I work for Harmon Kale now. Silence. She sold it? For $14 million. 2 months ago. Click. Nora tells me over lunch. I nod. She just found out. Not from me. Not from her own daughter. From my colleague. Because she never asked. The follow-up arrives within the hour. A new Facebook post deleted in 45 minutes, but not before Jess screenshots it. So proud of my daughter's incredible business success. From grief to pride in under 60 minutes. The pivot is so fast it should cause structural damage. She deleted it because even she understood that you cannot post sorrow and celebration in the same afternoon. I do not respond. I do not comment. I do not repost. I am the quietest person in this story. And quiet is the most powerful thing you can be in a family that only notices noise. Kelsey calls from her honeymoon. Trent's parents paid for it, a resort in Turks and Caicos. I could buy it now. I would never say that. I let the call go to voicemail. Fee, I just heard from Mom. About the company. Her voice is smaller, stripped of the rehearsal dinner confidence. I did not know. I am so sorry about the wedding thing. Can we just... She trails off. Can we just go back? Can we just go back? The same request as my father. The same impossible geography. Go back to what? To the system where I manage vendors and Mom manages the ledger and Kelsey meets her KPIs, and nobody calls anyone without needing something? I text Kelsey one line. You uninvited me because Mom said I could not afford a gift. There is nothing to go back to. Kelsey replies, that is not fair. I do not reply. Fair is not a word this system supports. Trent calls Garrett that evening. Reasonable tone. Look, Kelsey is really upset. Can you two not just talk? Garrett. Your wife uninvited my wife by text while my wife was managing her vendor list. We are past talking. Trent does not call again. Here is what Kelsey's voicemail tells me. Her apology is not, I was wrong to treat you that way. It is, I did not know you were rich. The system has not changed. The balance sheet has. If my account had actually been empty, Kelsey would still be celebrating at her 68-person dinner, eating centerpieces arranged by a sister she wrote off because Mom said the gift math did not work. The condition for my inclusion was always a number. And now that the number is large, they want to renegotiate. Month 3. 2 things arrive in the same week. The first is a handwritten letter from my father. Shaky. Careful. The handwriting of a man who once wrote clear notes on report cards. Dear Fiona, I do not know how to fix this. I should have called you back. I should have asked about your company. I should have done more than forward your mother's requests. I did not because it was easier to route everything through her. That is not an excuse. That is just the truth. I cashed the check because your mother told me to. I should have sent it back. I love you. I always have. I just never learned to love without instructions. Dad. I cry. The first time since day 7. Quiet tears. Architectural. Falling in a straight line. I show Garrett. He reads it. It is real? I know. But it is not enough. I know that too. Dad's letter is genuine. But genuine feelings without changed behavior is like a blueprint without a building. Paper does not keep the rain out. I write back by hand. Dad. I believe you love me. But love without action is architecture without a foundation. Do the work. Start with therapy. Start with acknowledging the spreadsheet. Call Claudia when you are ready. Not me, Claudia. The second thing that arrives. A package addressed to Mabel. Inside is a stuffed rabbit. Soft, pale blue. A tag tied to its ear reads, From Grandma. No note for me. No ask. No agenda. Just a stuffed rabbit for a 5-year-old from a grandmother who misses her. For 3 seconds, my mother is not a system. She is just a woman who bought a toy for a child she cannot reach. Then I set the rabbit on Mabel's bed. And I notice there is no return address. Even this gift was routed to avoid contact. Month 4. Jess texts at 8 in the morning. Your mom's Airbnb listing is gone. I check. The Garden View Suite delisted. 17 reviews, 4.8 stars, $89 a night for a room that used to contain a daughter. Gone. I do not feel victory. I feel the space where the listing used to be digital emptiness that mirrors a room that is no longer mine and no longer a brand. My mother deleted the Facebook grief post. The performance is over. The audience moved on. Greg reports the family group chat has gone quiet. Mom has not posted in 3 weeks. Kelsey reduced to wedding photo reposts. Dad absent from the golf club. Nora runs into my mother at the grocery store. Produce section. By the apples. Tell Fiona I took the listing down, my mother says. Nora does not soften it. Tell her yourself. She will not take my call. That is the point, Diane. My mother stands there holding a bag of apples. Nora tells me she looked smaller. Like a building that has been stripped of its signage, the structure is still there, but you can no longer tell what it used to be. I hear this. I do not call my mother. I do not celebrate. I sit at my drafting desk and open a new project file, a community arts center in Bridgeport pro bono. My first design since the acquisition. It feels different. Lighter. Like drawing a building that does not need to justify its square footage. The rainy day is over. The system is offline. And I am still here. At my desk. Doing what I do, building things that last for people who will actually use them. Month 5. I start consulting for Harman Kale's Sustainable Design Division, 3 days a week. The work is different, advising instead of leading, reviewing instead of drafting. But the methodology is mine, my fingerprints on every green certified office building they produce. The other 2 days I spend with Mabel and Theo. We build things, blanket forts, cardboard cities. Theo calls me the builder lady, which is the most accurate job title anyone in my family has ever given me. The Community Arts Center takes shape on my drafting desk. Clean lines, natural light. A reading nook by the east window that feels like a place someone would sit and be still. Mabel turns 6. Backyard party. 14 kids. Bouncy castle that Garrett anchors with sandbags because the forecast says wind. Nora and Greg are here. Claudia brings her daughter. No one from my family is invited. No one needs to be. Garrett raises a plastic cup of lemonade at the picnic table. To the woman who built a $14 million company and a family that actually shows up. I raise mine. To closing the ledger. Some accounts are not worth keeping open. The Children's Trust is funded. The scholarship is active, first recipient announced next month. The boundary letters are on file with Claudia. The architecture of this new life is not finished. No building ever is, but the foundation is set, and the load-bearing walls are standing. I look around the backyard. 14 kids in a bouncy castle. Garrett at the grill. Nora laughing. Mabel telling Claudia's daughter about the cardboard city we built on Tuesday. This is my family. The one I built. The one that runs on presence instead of performance reviews. No ledger, no balance column, no KPIs. Just people who show up. Here is where everyone ended up. My mother stopped posting on Facebook. She returned the $50,000 check 3 months after depositing it with a note that said, "I never needed your money." But she kept every dollar from the Airbnb listing. 17 guests at $89 a night. She has not contacted Claudia. She has not started therapy. She has not acknowledged the spreadsheet. Kelsey's wedding photos show a beautiful event. 3 friends who attended told me privately that it felt wrong without me there. Kelsey and Trent have not reached out since the honeymoon voicemail. Kelsey unfollowed me on Instagram. I do not know if she ever questioned the system. I suspect she did not. Questioning the system means admitting you were part of it. And that is harder than blaming the person who left. My father called Claudia once. He asked what doing the work meant. Claudia gave him 3 therapist referrals. He booked an appointment with the second one. He has not contacted me directly. He is respecting the boundary. It is the first action he has taken in this family that was not routed through my mother. And I want him to know I noticed, even from this distance. The $150,000 in wire transfers was eventually returned or donated. The money was never the point. The point was the receipt. The documentation that showed exactly what 11 days without value looked like in a family that ran on a ledger. I do not check the family group chat. Greg no longer forwards screenshots. That system is offline. The server has been decommissioned. And I am building something new in a house I designed, at a desk where the light falls exactly right. For children who will never have a balance column written next to their names. I used to think family was a permanent structure. Load-bearing walls you could never remove. But some walls are not load-bearing. Some are just partitions put up by people who needed to control the floor plan. My mother did not put up walls out of cruelty. She put up systems, org charts, balance columns. She ran her family the way you run a company, and companies lay people off when they stop being useful. I stopped being useful, so I stopped being family. I took the walls down. And the house is still standing. That is my story. 11 days, 3 wire transfers. And a family that ran on a ledger. If this story reminded you to check whether you are someone's daughter or someone's vendor, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Thank you for being here. Subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.